Hi everyone, and welcome to our first interview with our first guest speaker for the Thriving Entrepreneur Conference 2019, Jay Allen. He's going to talk to us a little bit about what excites him about the conference, what he does, and also what you can expect to hear from him on the 1st of February 2019. So let's start talking a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do and why you wanted to get involved with the conference.
Okay, so I'm Jay Allen. Over the last 10 years now, twice won a Global Entrepreneurship Big Impact to Business Award from the Kaufman Institute in America for what we do and how we deliver value to business community, predominantly SMEs. And then most recently, was very humbled to be invited to join the list of the Clear Business Thinking Power 100 here in the City of London from the Smith & Williamson Private Bank, recognised as one of the 100 top business influencers in the UK right now.
Wow, and how do you get to somewhere like that? So did you always want to be at this level? Was it always business that you wanted to get into? How did you start?
It's been a complete accident all the way from the start. I started off life as a soldier. I joined the British Army from university and did 12 and a half years on the front line with the British Army, and thought it was a career for life. I haven't come from a service background. I've come from a self-employment from both my parents' background, but joined the military because I felt that's what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be, and then had an accident in the Second Gulf War, which saw me medically discharged from the service. And didn't really know how to fit back into this thing called civvy streets that all of you do for a living. And so struggled to be able to find that transition from being a soldier and doing things for yourself into relying on other people and being part of a civilian type team. And then through luck and circumstance, managed to find myself being interviewed by Sir Ken Morrison from Morrison's, and subsequently became his business development director for 12 months.
Wow.
I'm thrown into this thing called business, but at quite a significant level to be able to look at how we were going to evolve Morrison's over the period of time I was there, and found that there were a lot of transitional skills that were quite useful from having been a frontline serving soldier to actually a lot of the things and decisions were made about in business. When I left, Ken wrote a lovely testimonial that said, I'm not quite sure how one man managed to achieve so much. And it was simply a case of, well, you get on with it. And what I found in business, what I found in my own business and helping other people with their businesses, one of the biggest hurdles that tends to hold people back most of the time is the inabilities to actually apply 100% to the goal in hand. This reticence or this fear of either failure or of success, this abhorrence to being able to fully involve ourselves in it, that I'll give 80%, I'll just hold that little bit back in case. And there's a lovely expression in the army, the moment you start thinking about plan B, you've already given up on plan A. So the old adage about burn the bridges was just as important in working with Ken and subsequently in our own businesses, of being able to just simply say, if we're going to do this, we're all in. We ain't going home. Once you've come up with a plan and you've committed to it, it is all in, it's do or die. And ironically, it creates some of the most exceptional results, both for us and for the people we work with.
Mm-hmm. And you obviously have a whole wealth of experience and knowledge when it comes to this. You worked with Morrison's, and obviously your time in the army helped you sort of build the right mentality, like you said, moving with business. So what are you looking to bring to the Thriving Entrepreneur Conference? How are you going to bring that passion and that knowledge to people that are looking at the next 10 years and where they want to take their business?
I think it's massively important to stop thinking about the here and the now and to start looking about, well, where do we want to be? I've taken a lot of inspiration from Tony Robbins over the years, and he talks about start with the end in mind and work backwards. So I want to be able to work with people that are already thinking about the next 5 years or 10 years and saying, well, where could we be? Where do we want to be? What does the evolution of the landscape look like, and what impact are we going to have on that, as opposed to I've got to worry about next month and the salary bill coming in. I want to be able to work with people that are thinking ahead and then saying, so how can we plan for and to make the most of the opportunities that are available to us, as opposed to that short-termism about, well, this year we're going to aim to grow by 3%. That's just not business. That's not fun anymore. I want to be able to work with people that are interested in being able to say, so what can we achieve and where's it going to take us?
So what is your topic about at the Thriving Entrepreneur Conference? Because there's 5 different sections. I mean, I know, and you've given us a pretty big clue already by what you've been talking about, but what can people expect to hear about from you?
Well, I'm going to share with people about the 50 careers that you've already trained in that aren't going to exist in the next generation, that are going to become extinct, and the 100 careers that are about to come about that we need to be prepared for that don't even exist yet. We need to be able to start thinking about what is evolving and how do we get involved in that. I'm going to share the 17 world biggest fundamental problems at present and the impact that we can have on being able to make a niche in that market, to be able to have a foothold in what the next generation is going to be looking for. I'm looking at millennials, I'm looking at the Project Z, if you like, the next generation of 3 to 13-year-olds, and saying, what are the problems that we need to pose that we don't even know that they exist yet, that we've got to be able to think about how to be able to overcome by the time the next generation ready and work. I'm already doing a lot of work with universities at the moment and looking at MBA programs in entrepreneurship to be able to find out as to what do they bring to the party. And I'm really keen to be able to work with people that wants to have a longer term strategy than simply thinking about next week.
Okay, so what is the one thing about the conference that you think is going to make people jump for J?
I'm very keen to be able to share the ripple effect and looking at how a small business can have a huge impact on an international scale. I'm keen to be able to say that, you know, anything of any real value doesn't start from the top. It doesn't start from Google saying this and we're all jumping for joy because of Google saying something. It starts with a few innovative people that come up with something completely new and creative that grows and grows and grows. And I want to share a few examples of how that's possible and then inspire people to say, collectively and collaboratively, we can come together and create the next generation as opposed to be so fearful of it.
Perfect. Well, I think that's everything from us. Did you have anything else that you wanted to cover?
No, not at all. I'm really looking forward to being able to see as many people there as possible. So if you haven't already booked your ticket, make sure you do so today.
Yeah, and we'll see you on the 1st of February.
Delighted. See you there.
Good stuff.